Look, it's been like 3 weeks since Dune Part Two came out, and probably like you, I cannot stop thinking about this movie. And I'm a weirdo. I like to overanalyze these things and make videos, obviously, for you guys. So in this video, I really want to break down why you cannot stop thinking about Dune Part Two. And it all comes down to something that Denis Villeneuve said recently in an interview. Denis said he hates dialogue. Now, he's since further clarified this.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
It's not that he hates dialogue. He just prefers the visual medium. And this makes sense. Movies are a visual medium. He remembers moments and scenes, not necessarily lines. And I feel like this sentiment, this thought, and I don't want you to get caught in the weeds on it. I don't want you to start saying, well, Patrick, you know, some of my favorite movies, I'll be back, all these different lines that you like. Yes, all of that is right. And this is the thing about movies in general. It's subjective. This idea, this hating dialogue, made his entire filmography honestly click for me. One of my favorite movies of all time, not just Denis movies, is Sicario. If you paid me $1 million right now to recite one line from that movie, I don't think I could do it.
Been a humdinger of a day.
I remember the Mexico border crossing sequence. I remember them going into the dusk in the sunset before the firefight in the cave. There's tone and emotion and mood in all of his scenes without many people saying anything at all. And I feel like I'm remembering Dune Part 2 as if it's like a dream or something. And I know that sounds cringe and cheesy just saying it out loud, but that's the effect it had on me. And I would argue that's maybe the mark of great science fiction. It's a dream. It's an imagination. It's someone's thoughts inside their brain, a filmmaker who put that on the page. And where it gets really interesting with this particular case with Dune, this is someone who read a book when they were a kid. They read Dune and said, one day I really want to make this movie. So we're seeing all those thoughts, all that imagination that Denis had growing up with his favorite book, now going up on screen.
That beautiful sci-fi shit.
And on top of that, Denis is just so in control of the cinematic experience. His taste for what makes something cinema is pretty much unmatched right now, other than the folks like James Cameron and Christopher Nolan. I don't mean all movies, I mean specifically event blockbuster movies. Because we've been accustomed to big movies. We've had all these Marvel movies and DC movies, whatever it is. We have big movies. Top Gun is a great example. These are very pulpy action blockbusters that feel like pop songs, right? But whereas Dune feels more like weird jazz.
Biodigital jazz, man.
Let's take the iconic Sandworm sequence, for example. You know, this is something that should be goofy. A character running and jumping on a sandworm, when you write it down, it sounds stupid. There's almost no way to actually practically do this, obviously. But Denis found a way because he cares. He wants to make sure that experience feels as real as possible for the viewer. So much so that a lot of that sequence wasn't even CGI, which literally blew my mind. There was an interview that came out recently where he broke down that sequence. It's an actual stuntman running in through a real sand dune that they made with like trucks. I don't even understand how it works, but they did it. It's similar with Oppenheimer. You know, everyone argued about the big explosion. Everyone thought it should be a real nuke or it should be CGI. But I love the fact that it's just a gas explosion. That one sits with me more. I felt that explosion more than I would have some CGI nuke. And you might disagree. I completely understand the case for the other side of it. I wanted a big nuke, whatever. I just think you're wrong.
I'm joking.
I don't like to get lofty on the ideas of something being real or something being fake. It just needs to feel real. I don't care if it's CGI or not. We just need to feel it. And I think that all keeps going back to Denis not liking dialogue, not caring so much about what people are saying. He just wants you to feel what they're feeling. He wants to put you, the audience, in those moments with those characters to actually be transported to a different world. Oh, hey there. It's time for a quick little ad read. Let's get into it. You know, one of the main reasons why Denis Villeneuve movies hit so hard is he always has incredible scores. Obviously, we don't all have access to Hans Zimmer, which is exactly why I switched to MusicBed. Oh my God, can you believe that segue? Look, MusicBed not only has the largest library of curated music, it's also just the best music of any music service I have ever used, full stop. I honestly use it for all of my creative projects. I use MusicBed much like I would use Apple Music or Spotify. I just listen to songs like I'm streaming, and every time I find one, I save it, and it inspires me for a future project, whether that's a short film, a client project, or even just a YouTube video. Trust me, I know how it feels. I never want my videos to feel like I'm using stock music, and you won't find stock music on MusicBed. I usually find 3 or 4 different songs that would be perfect for a video. And right now, MusicBed is offering a 14-day trial, so you can switch to MusicBed and see for yourself. And I can pretty much guarantee in those 2 weeks, you're gonna find so many different songs that you'll want to use for future projects or maybe something you have on the back burner. It's gonna push you over the finish line to get that video out the door and out for everybody to see. Thanks for sticking around through this ad read. It helps me make more videos like this for all of you guys. Go click that link in the description. Thank you to MusicBed for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to it. I want to loop back to the sandworm sequence, because another reason why I think this coincides with Denis' whole thing with like hating dialogue and just being so in control of the visuals is how he works with his cinematographers, and in this case with Greg Fraser. How would a traditional cinematographer approach filming something that has never happened before? No one's ever actually ridden a sandworm. And once you hear him talking about it, it seems simple. They looked for references that were similar to the act of riding on a sandworm.
I set about finding a reference that might be right. You know, we set some rules and we said, okay, even though we're on a sandworm, the cameras have to be real. They have to be either on the sandworm with him. We have to be a camera operator strapped to a sandworm. We have to imagine ourselves as a camera operator. I found some fantastic references of some surfing, some going into the ocean, being drowned, like going through waves, and all added up. We all kind of went, okay, this is how it should be. Like if we're going to see him at a distance with this behemoth that surrounds him, this is how we shoot it.
I swear, any other modern filmmaker right now, particularly working with budgets that Denis has access to, or even Christopher Nolan, would just say, yeah, let's give that to the friends over at ILM, the post-production geniuses. They'll figure it out. But I don't think that always works. And I keep bringing Gareth Edwards and The Creator up in a lot of videos, but I also think it matters there. It was Gareth shooting on location in real worlds and then painting the CGI in after. I don't think The Creator works if you do it all entirely on a blue screen. And I don't think Dune works if you do it entirely on a blue screen either. Filmmakers like Denis and cinematographers like Greg Fraser, like these guys just understand what makes a great image, and it's not just sitting at a computer. No matter how big the movies get, it always seems like Denis and his crew approach it like he shot Prisoners or how he shot SICARIO. There's an intimacy to the movie that doesn't feel normal or traditional for a big action blockbuster. And you might not like it. I'm not saying this is the right way to make a movie, but I think I can make a strong case for why everyone has had such a reaction to it, why it's stuck in your brain, why you can't stop thinking about it, why it feels like a dream. This experience that was so otherworldly feels like something we all shared together. And maybe that's cringe, maybe that's like just me being goofy about a big blockbuster movie. I don't know, but that's honestly how I feel about it. And just seeing the reaction of everybody online and in real life, just how they felt watching this movie. A lot of people can't even put their finger on what it is. They just love the damn thing. I'm not discrediting the acting, I'm not discrediting the writing. I think that's all part of it. This is a very well-made movie from all levels and all fronts. But it doesn't work without a director as crazy and as focused and committed to their vision like Denis Villeneuve. A director who will go on record saying something as crazy as hating dialogue. And I don't know about you, but I want more movies like Dune Part Two. I want more visceral visual experiences. Some of my favorite movies are riddled with dialogue. The Social Network is one of the best scripts ever written. And I say the quotes, I go around and I go, you better lawyer up, asshole. All the time. I love dialogue. But I love visuals and I love images too. And I think that's why Denis Villeneuve is honestly one of my favorite directors. It's like watching a bunch of paintings and I love everything about that. And I wonder if you do too. Well, see you in the comments, I guess, and I'll see you soon. Bye.